What's up guys, Houndish here, and today we're jumping in with a quick overview for how to acquire the Revision 0 exotic pulse rifle in Season of the Seraph. And so in the video today, we'll speak about the quest to acquire the weapon, the new mission activity that we need to complete in order to get it, crafting options for the weapon, and some of its future upgrades that we'll be unlocking over the next 4 weeks. And so as always, I hope you guys enjoy the video. If you do, be sure to get subscribed to the channel for more Destiny content, but without further delay, let's get into it. Initially, a very quick look at the Revision 0 weapon right here. The intrinsic bonus is Hunter's Trace, and this weapon fires special shield-piercing ammunition. Precision hits will grant targeting data, and then with a long press on the reload, we can swap to the alternate scope, which loads high damage rounds based on the amount of targeting data, and it's strong against barrier champions. On top of this, it has 2 additional origin traits, Hake Light Burst Fire, which fires a stable burst of 4 lightweight rounds, as well as Hake Heavy Burst Fire, which fires a less stable burst of 2 high damage, high range rounds. This is also a craftable exotic, so for many of the other bonuses on the weapon, we will have multiple different options. But from the gameplay right here, we can see this is one of those hard-hitting Hake pulses, and the targeting data that we're accruing on the weapon shows on the side of the screen. And you can see when we make that long reload to change the scope, it'll give it a kind of sniper scope and then a high damage round. So a pretty interesting weapon, and we'll talk more about perks and upgrades in a moment. In terms of acquiring it though, we need to complete the More Than a Weapon Week 3 steps for the seasonal quest. It's a little bit shorter than most weeks, and the main step is to spend Seraph key codes to unlock a Seraph chest, so we simply need to head into a heist battleground and open the chest. And following that, we need to head to the holo projector in the helm, and this is where we'll get the first step of the Hidden Shape quest, and it requires us to complete the Operation Seraph's Shield mission. It's a really cool mission where we head to one of these Seraph orbital facilities. There are quite a few puzzles and sort of secret routes in the mission, but it does take some of its key mechanics from the Deepstone Crypt, or at least inspiration. And there are 3 different augments that we can pick up, and these will be required in order to work our way through the mission. So initially there is the Scanner augment, and this one highlights and reveals important objects. So basically with the Scanner augment, you'll see it highlights these terminals that we need to hack, and we'll need to do that in several different places throughout the mission. There's also the Operator augment, and this reveals active control panels. So when this is active, the control panels will glow with this kind of crosshatch effect, and those need to be shot in order to be destroyed and open the doors. And finally, there's the Suppressor augment, and to use this one, we need to stand underneath these glowing drones, which have a kind of ring around the floor underneath them. And we'll be able to do a very small amount of damage to enemy shields that are highlighted. And in the 2 encounters where this is relevant, there are 3 different drones that we need to stand underneath in order to damage the shield. Once that shield has been damaged, it'll allow us to destroy shield drones which are nearby, and all 3 of these different augments will drop from enemies that also have the associated augment icon above their head when we kill them. And so those 3 are a very key mechanic to kind of navigating through the space. There are many different sections to the Operation Seraph Shield mission. It kind of deserves its own full guide, and that's probably something we'll look at in future. Another section to shout out for the mission right here would be this area where there's a side room that has 3 different terminals to hack. You can see while I have the Scanner augment, I'm able to see the path that players can safely take in that room. If you deviate from the path that's highlighted, it'll lock the room down and microwave it, which subsequently kills us, so you probably don't want to be doing that. If you are in a team of 3 though, one of you can keep the scanner buff and guide the other players through the room. That's one key area to note, and the other key area to note will be the final boss room, which uses the Suppressor augment mechanic. And in here, when you have the Suppressor buff, there are 3 different drone spots, so one on the left, one in the middle, and one up top on the right hand side. So you need the Suppressor buff, once again stand underneath the drones, and apply a small amount of damage to the boss's shield. And once the 3 of those have been activated, there'll be 3 shield drones that are revealed. Once again, there's one in the room on the middle, another in a side room on the left, and another in a side room on the right. I'll run some gameplay of the boss encounter in a moment so you can see how that works in full, but without doing a full breakdown of the mission itself, those are the basics of the mechanics, and once you know that, it's simply a case of navigating through it. And once you complete the mission, we'll get a prompt to return to Clovis at the exo frame in the helm, and he'll give us a basic version of the Revision 0. Once we have this though, the final step of the quest is to shape Revision 0, so we need to essentially go make some kills with the weapon so that we can extract its deep sight resonance. And after that we're able to craft a basic version of it, which pretty much comes with the same perks as the one that drops initially, but of course we'll be able to level it up and get access to more of the perks at the relic. Also, when we're at the relic, we can see the 4 additional catalysts for this weapon. And as the text says, these are going to become available over the next 4 weeks. So the catalysts come from 4 different quests called Should You Choose to Accept It, and there are 4 different parts to that. So the Frenzy refit for the weapon, which allows the weapon on each rapid kill to progressively increase reload speed for a short time, will become available after the completion of step 32 of More Than a Weapon, so that should be the step that we get for the main seasonal quest next week. Pressurized refit allows improved stability and accuracy as the magazine gets lower, and the quest to acquire that will be available after step 39 of More Than a Weapon. Then there is the Outlaw refit, and precision kills greatly decrease reload time. The quest to unlock that will be available after step 46 of the More Than a Weapon quest. And finally, there's the 4-timer refit with 4th times the charm, and rapidly landing precision hits will return 2 rounds to the magazine, and the quest for that will be available after completing step 53 of More Than a Weapon. And so that gives us an idea of the future trajectory for unlocking those catalysts for the Revision Zero. And that is basically how it's done. I'll see if I can put together a more in-depth guide for the Operation Seraph Shield mission. There are a few secrets, hidden chests and things like that inside of the mission as well, so it kind of deserves its own video like I said. But with knowledge of those key mechanics, it isn't too difficult to get through it. And obviously it's a pretty good one to get your heads around at this point because it is a mission that we're going to be able to return to over time for other objectives in the season. So there we go guys, for now, that's a quick breakdown of how to acquire the Revision Zero exotic weapon. I'll keep you posted with more info on the mission and of course the catalyst quests over time, but for the video today I hope it's been useful, and if it has, a rating below really does help us out on the channel. Plus, feel free to get subscribed and I'll keep you posted with more Destiny content, but otherwise, I appreciate you tuning in, and I hope you guys have an awesome day.
Witness has returned to us, as it will return all the Lixney slain by the machine's spawn's hand.
virus into that console. House Salvation has more ships inbound. Virus uploading. We're done here. For now. I've initiated a station-wide security.